Hello everyone, welcome to Dugout Daily. I'm Charlie and I'm joined by Ray. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I'm just watching those pictures going through, and you got Rooney there, man. What's going on?
Blame Top Man U, not me.
Sorry.
Blame Top Man U, not me.
All right. I'll let you off. I can't believe that, having Rooney. How you doing, mate?
I'm not bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Just waiting for the game. Tomorrow we get the criteria for the Champions League tickets tomorrow. We're going to see how much that's expensive if anybody's going. I think someone said a couple of years ago the cheapest tickets was about 60 or 70 euros. I think it's 70 euros. Category 4, then Category 3 jumps up to 160, and then it keeps on going up. So I wonder if UEFA are going to screw us and make us pay 160 euros. On top of that, people are paying 500 quid for a flight. It's not cheap. It's not cheap.
It's not cheap. My dad's going, he said, and he's going on some mad route. He's going from Manchester, driving up to Edinburgh, flying from Edinburgh, flying over to Faro. Then he's got a 250-mile car trip to Porto.
That's a long way. But I guess it might be cheaper than going direct. The direct ones I've seen, 500 quid. If you want to stay in a hotel, 600 quid. It's blooming expensive, and it's non-refundable. And those ones I've seen, they're not refundable. So if you don't get a ticket, you don't get your money back on the flight. Yeah. Or if the rule, something changes and you can't go for 600 quid, 500-600 quid, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. Yeah. But City fans will pay it, seeing as though they've never been in the Champions League final before.
I'd have been tempted to drive. Honestly, if I could have driven through France without having to quarantine in Portugal or whatever, I'd have been tempted. I think it's a long way, probably 2,500 miles or whatever. I'm trying to think how far it would be. It's 500 miles to Paris, another 500 to the south. Yeah, it'd have been at least 1,500 miles or whatever. I'd have been tempted. I really would have been tempted. If they would have allowed us to not quarantine, but anyway.
Yeah. Speaking about the Champions League final, how were you when you found out it weren't going to be? There was a chance of an all-English final being in England, and that's obviously not the case now. It's being in Porto.
The thing is, you kind of knew that it depended on the government. If the government wouldn't allow UEFA to have all the delegates they wanted, they wouldn't allow them to, which is crazy because it's unusual for the government to do something right on this. And they said they won't let them have all the delegates, won't let them avoid the quarantine situation, which I think UEFA wanted to bring in at least 2,000 people. And I think that's why it wasn't at Wembley. Simple as that. It's a bummer because going to Wembley is a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
Than going to Portugal. I'm just looking up how far Porto is. 1,000. Yeah, I was almost right. 1,479 miles. So 1,500 miles. You could do that in a couple of days. 3 days. It'd have been. It's a shame because I think it would have been a nice road trip if we didn't have the COVID. You buy yourself a cheap car, 500 quid. Hope it lasts and go with a couple, 3 or 4 mates, camping or whatever, sleeping in the car. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not London. There's nothing we can do about it, and hopefully we get tickets this time.
Yeah, tickets go on sale on Wednesday, and they're going to sell out quickly, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so. Well, it all depends on the criteria, doesn't it? There's going to be a lot of unhappy people. There's going to be a lot of unhappy people because it should be going on if you're on the cup scheme. So if you're on the cup scheme, it should be they should be getting the tickets first, and I think that'll wipe out. You can have people who have got 20,000 points who are not on the cup scheme. So they won't, I don't think they'll get a ticket. They'll be miffed, but that's the whole point of the cup scheme. And they better not change it, because the Carabao Cup final was on points. It was on a cup scheme first, and it actually went down to general sale. Now, I have no idea how many people are on the cup scheme for the Champions League, but it'll be several thousand anyway. It could be 10,000. I don't know. Could be more. So it's going to be, obviously, if you've got a load of points, you're not bothered, and you're on the cup scheme. I've got, I can't remember now, 11 or 12,000 points. So I might be in that danger zone of not getting a ticket, but I'd like to think I can with those number of points. Just trying to work out whether I try and take my kids, but you take a kid and your cost doubles straight away. So you think it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
To take your kids as well.
Yeah. Anyway, we had a game the other night against Newcastle. What were your thoughts on the performance and the result?
Performance was bang average. Obviously, you're happy to win, but we made those wholesale changes again, and we put out. I can't remember the actual lineup, but there's probably maximum of 3 people that you'd start with in the Champions League final. I mean, Carson was in goal. There was no John Stones. There was it Aki and Diaz, Cancelo and Walker. Then Rodri, I don't think he'll start the Champions League final. Obviously up front, Torres, Sterling, Gabriel Jesus. I can't remember the attacking. Gundogan started, I think. So how many players are likely to be in the starting lineup for the final? Gundogan, Walker. Is that it? Bernardo? I think Bernardo played. And
Cancelo.
I think Zinchenko's going to start ahead of Cancelo. I think the way Pep's been doing it, and Cancelo's not looked good. He's not looked as good as he was earlier this season, and he seems to be a B team player for the rest of the season. So but the bottom line, we won. We extended our winning streak to 12 games away from home in the Premier League, a new record, beating the record that I think Chelsea held with us. So we've got on 11, we've got 12 now. So end of the day, look, winning's all that matters. And winning breeds a little bit of extra confidence. I think that you carry that forward. Chelsea have started to lose games. That's going to affect their confidence. If they don't get Champions League, I think the negatives of not getting the Champions League will outweigh the positive of we have to win this game to make sure we're in the Champions League. I just think that it can really get to them, because they'll be panicking, they'll be worried, because if they don't win the Champions League and if they finish 5th, if they lose to Leicester this week, then I think Liverpool get that 4th spot. And Leicester will be safe with the Champions League. And I think Liverpool will sneak that 4th and Chelsea drop. So it's going to be really interesting to see, we will go into it, I think, more positive than Chelsea. But on the other hand, if Chelsea win their last 2 games of the season, they'll be feeling good. They'll be feeling confident. They might be a bit more tired than they'd like, but they'll be feeling good and confident. And that's what you need. They've got 6 days between the last game and the final. I think that's enough. Even if you're tired, you'll take a day or 2 off and then you start preparing. So I think they'll be fine.
Chelsea lost the other day to Leicester. Do you reckon that'll give them more confidence to win the Champions League final, or will it put a bit of a downer on it?
Well, beating out the league almost gets you into guaranteed Champions League. If they'd only need to win 1 more game to be guaranteed Champions League next season. So they're on a downer from that. The loss in the FA Cup final, they're on a downer from that. If they lose to Leicester, lose their last game of the season, or if they don't get the top 4, like I said, that they'll be on a downer. Yes, there will be some motivation. There will be some motivation to win the Champions League final, to win it, and to obviously qualify for the Champions League next season. But there'll also be that nagging doubt in the back of their mind if they finish 5th. And it's added pressure. If we don't win this game, we don't make Champions League next season. So there's that little bit of added pressure. City don't have that. City's only pressure is that game because we're already in the Champions League. We've won the league. We've got two trophies this season. Chelsea have won nothing. So there's, I think, additional pressure on them, especially if they don't make the top 4.
Yeah. I completely agree. Tomorrow we got Brighton away. I'm confident. I'm guessing you are as well.
Yeah, look, Brighton play well. They play nice, but they don't score a lot of goals. And we play well. We play nice, and we score goals. I think that's the difference. If they had, a couple of better strikers up there, I think that'd make a difference for them. But I think we should see more first-team players. I'm not sure KDB is going to start. He's trained for 2 days. He might be ready to start. He's probably fit enough. But for me, I'd bring him on with half an hour to go. At least get a run out. But I think we'll get 3 or 4 first-team players. John Stones, if you think about John Stones, he missed the FA Cup semi-final, if I'm right. He missed the... Did he miss the game against... He missed the game against Chelsea. He missed 3 games, basically. He played the Champions League against PSG twice, I think, and those have been his only games. So he's missed 3 games. So maybe he'll start because he needs that. Maybe Diaz as well because he didn't play last game, and they'll start together. And maybe Pep brings on Laporte after 60 minutes to play with Diaz for the last 30. But I think we'll see 2 or 3 more, at least 2 or 3 more first-team players start because you can't not play them before the end of the season. You can't wrap Foden and Mahrez up in cotton wool and say you're not going to play for the last 3 weeks of the season because they're going to be, not unfit, but they might still be confident, but they're missing that match fitness, the extra few percent, and you can't play them into the ground either. You've got to protect them a little bit, but you've got to give these guys some game time. And I don't want to leave them till Everton and put out our best team against Everton, and that's it because it's only 6 days before the end of the season.
Yeah, I think Aguero will get rested in the week because Pep will want his final farewell at the Etihad against Everton on Sunday, I believe.
Possibly, but also Aguero didn't play last game, did he? Was he even on the bench? Was he even on the bench? So who knows if he's fit or not? There was no question. It's unusual. There's no question about it in the press conference. Normally they'll say, is everybody fit? But here they just said they wanted to know about KDB. And I don't think anybody mentioned Aguero or give that general, is everybody available comment. So unless it was in the embargoed part of the press conference that comes out at 10:30 tonight, I don't know if Aguero's fit or not.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you reckon they'll give young players a run out like Delap, Tommy Doyle?
No chance.
Players like that? No.
Really? I don't see it. I don't see. I just don't see it. He might chuck somebody out for one game, but not tomorrow. I don't think he'll do it tomorrow. I might be wrong. And the reason why I wouldn't want him to do it tomorrow is I want to win the game, extend our winning record, because it's nice to get records that are going to be hard to beat, to get out a winning away record up to 13 on the bounce. Play some kids in the last game against Everton where it's less important. Maybe let Ancelotti win the last game and guarantee Everton get into the Europa League or something. Play a couple of kids then, but I don't want him to. I don't want him to play again. Chucking some kids. He had come on the bench last time. Maybe. I'd like to see Delap and Palmer have some minutes before the end of the season. Even though they know they're dead rubbers, these aren't important games, just get on the pitch. Just getting on the pitch will make them feel good.
Yeah. Definitely, I agree. So, do you reckon he'll rest some players? I'm guessing he won't go full strength against Brighton or Everton, but he'll give some players a run out who need game time.
Yeah, it's a really tough one because part of me wants to see the guys who are going to start against Chelsea in the final get a game together. Now, you could argue it's not that important, really, because you can play behind closed doors. You can play your first team against your second team, and they get a run out that way, and they play together. But part of me, I don't like the idea of playing, let's say, 5 or 6 of the first 11. The guys who are going to start against Chelsea, against Brighton, and the other 5 or 6 against Everton. I'd like them to play all together, or at least 7 or 8. 7 or 8. If we started 8 tomorrow, maybe with Stefan in goal, let Ederson have a rest. I don't mind that. Maybe play our best back line. I think that's important. So play Walker, or start Walker, Stones, Diaz, and Zinchenko. Maybe do that. Put Fernandinho in and rest him for the week for the Everton game. Put Fernandinho in so he gets another run out, and then you can mix it up. If you want, you can have. I think he'll start Torres. Keep him in now. He's in confident and in good form. Maybe chuck Sterling in. Maybe throw Foden in. Maybe put Mahrez. I don't know how you do that, but 5 or 6. You've got to have 5 or 6 top best players, and I think the way to do it is have your best defense and your best DM.
Yeah. He's already said Ederson will start both games, so I don't think Stefan will get a run out again this season.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. I reckon Torres will play again, seeing as though he got a hat-trick on Friday. I reckon he'll play. He might. I don't think he'll start players like De Bruyne or Foden or players like that.
I don't know. I don't think he shouldn't start, in my opinion, KDB, because KDB's been out. He's only had 2. He's only trained the last 2 days.
Yeah.
But you can't not play Foden or Mahrez for the rest of the season, because then they've hardly played in the last month. They'll have hardly played any football. You can't wrap them up in cotton wool. You've got to let some of them go out and have a game. And you might bring them off after 60 minutes. And I think if a lot of our team play 60 minutes tomorrow, that's enough. Yeah. That's enough to save them. But for me, play the back 5, play 2 or 3 other important players, and then bring the important players off. Especially if you've got somebody in a position that can cover. For example, when I say start Diaz and Stones, okay? Now, if any of them get injured, you've got Laporte to come in. So I don't worry about that. I don't think Laporte with partnership with either of them is as good as Stones and Diaz. But if Diaz gets injured, then Laporte comes in on the left. If Stones gets injured, then Laporte comes in on the left and Diaz goes on the right. So that one I'm really comfortable with, whatever we do. And I play Walker and Zinchenko, because if anybody gets injured or whatever, I've got Cancelo to come in. He can go on either side. So I'm comfortable with that as a back four and Ederson in goal. Fernandinho's a DM. Yeah, I'm comfortable, because if there's an issue, then we can put Rodri in. Others I'm a bit more concerned, because obviously I don't want Foden to get injured. I don't want Mahrez to get injured, or Bernardo Silva. I think those 3 are really important. But as I said, you can't just say, you guys are not going to play for the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season before the Champions League final, because they just won't be at the level of fitness that I think they need to be at.
Yeah. They won't have match sharpness for our biggest game of the season, which is what we've aimed for last 10, 15 years, to get to the Champions League final and eventually win it. And this is our best chance, I believe. So he needs to start some of them, get their match sharpness up, get their match fitness up, but not overplay them. Don't make them play the full 90 minutes. I don't believe, anyway.
Yeah.
Do you reckon this is our biggest chance to ever win the Champions League over the last?
Well, let's be honest. We've never been this far, so it has to be, hasn't it? We've never been this far in the Champions League, so it has to be our best chance of winning it. It goes without saying. We didn't do ourselves justice in the last 5 or 6 years. that semi-final against Real, and you look at some of the teams that made it and you think we should have been there, we could have won that. But it is what it is. The past has gone. We can only look to the future. Can't look in the past. So we've got a good chance. I think we're a better team than Chelsea. We've got better individual players than Chelsea. But it's 11 v 11, and anything can happen. So, but it's definitely it's our best chance because we've never been this far.
Yeah. Got a live comment here. Aguero or Kane at this moment. You got to go Harry Kane, really. Aguero hasn't been playing. Kane's on fire at the minute, scoring.
Kane's got 22 league goals this season and 13 league assists. So he's got 35 goals and assists in about, I think it's 33 games or whatever it is, 30 games. So he's got more goals and assists than anybody in the league. So Kane, he's fit and he's scoring goals.
Yeah, and you can tell when Tottenham don't have Kane, they're not the same team.
Not as good.
Yeah. And us without Aguero, we can change him. We could put De Bruyne as a false nine. We could put Jesus up there. We could put Torres up there. We got a lot of different options which Spurs don't have at the minute.
Yeah, Spurs. So, I mean, if they don't have Son and Kane, then what's left for Spurs?
Yeah. Big up Chelsea fan in the chat. Yeah, I totally agree with that. When Spurs don't have Son or Kane, they're not the same team.
Yeah, I mean, those guys. If you talk about world class, they're the nearest Spurs have got to world class. I don't count Hugo Lloris as world class. He's far from it. I'd rather have Scott Carson than Hugo Lloris. But there's the only two world class players I think they've got, really, Son and Kane, or the closest they've got to world class. Yeah,
100%. You saw it earlier in the season. They were top of the league at one point, and they don't have the squad to last the whole season.
It wasn't just the squad because Kane and Son were still playing, but they went off the boil, and that's the problem. When you're relying on just a couple of players, if some of them, if they go off the boil or they get injured, then you've got problems. And we're lucky at City that we play a system, and we saw when we lost KDB, arguably the best player in the league at the moment. He was last season. He got player of the season. He'll been in with a shout for it again. When he didn't play, we were actually better.
Yeah.
So we can cope without one top player. If Mahrez isn't playing, I think we're all right. We stick Bernardo Silva on the right. If Foden's not around, we can put Sterling or put Jesus on the left. So we've got flexibility. We've got a lot of options. But when Spurs lose a couple of players, the best two players, they're gone. If we lost our best two players, if I say KDB and Gundogan are our best two players, let's say right now, or KDB and Diaz, let's say we lost KDB and Diaz, we put Laporte in and we put somebody else in instead of KDB, like Jesus, we're not going to worry because we're not as good, but we're still very, very good. Spurs, as soon as you take out Kane and Son, or one of them, they're still okay, but
they crumble.
Yeah, they're nothing like they are when they have those two guys.
Yeah, spot on. When we lose a player like De Bruyne, we don't miss him. When Spurs lose Kane or Son, or Liverpool lose Van Dijk, for example, they miss him.
Yeah,
you've seen.
It's what they offer on the pitch, and it's a bit of mentality as well because the rest of the team look at it. Because they're not systems teams. They need their individual stars. Whereas our setup is like that. And someone else can come in and take into KDB's place and play well and fit in the system. One thing that KDB brings you is that individual brilliance that other players don't have. But he'll still play the system like anybody else.
Yeah, I agree with you. I can't think of another team in world football that when they lose a player, I don't think they improve like us anyway. Say, for example, if Bayern lost Lewandowski, I don't think they'd be the same.
Bayern played PSG, didn't they, in the second game in the Champions League? Or was that without Lewandowski?
Yeah, and
They
they
had,
didn't look the same team.
and they weren't the same team. They had the chances, they didn't take them. Can you imagine PSG without Mbappe? Well, they were without Mbappe when they played us the second time, and they got beat. So you can imagine Dortmund without Haaland. These teams rely on top quality talent to make the difference. And as I said, our top quality talent is like the icing on top of the cake, but it's a system that they're playing that is the cake.
Yeah. We've got a few live comments here. We've got Miss Mel in the chat. Hello. Question for Ray: would you take Harry Kane at City?
Like a shot. The guy scores goals. That's it. He scores goals in this Spurs side. He's a top goal scorer this season. He scores penalties. Something that we've missed. I don't know how many penalties we missed this season, 4 or 5. I think Aguero, we remember Aguero missing a penalty.
Gundogan at Anfield.
Gundogan has. KDB has. I think Sterling has he missed one this season? I think 4 or 5 penalties. So Kane at those 5. Kane scores probably 4. So that's an improvement straight away. Yes, he'll do a bit of cheating to win penalties and free kicks. We can argue that we're not happy about it when he does it for them. If he did it for us, we might still be a little bit unhappy about it, but we take it. Football fans are like that, and I just think he'll score goals. The guy's got 35 goals and assists this season, which is more than KDB's ever done at City. KDB's best season, I think, was 33. So if this guy's doing 35 and he ends up playing in a better City side, he's got better chances of scoring. He's going to be setting up goals for better quality players who are more likely to score. What's to say he can't get 40 goals and assists in the season? That'd be crazy, or even more.
Yeah. Would Harry Kane be your first choice this season to replace Aguero?
It's tough. What you've seen from Kane this season, in the past, we've seen Kane, obviously, he's been single-minded. He's been trying to score goals. He's been greedy. That's the only thing that I worry about. But I think he's less greedy this season. That's why he's got so many assists. He's dropped back. He's been more creative as well. He's worked hard for the team. In the past, he was relied on to score goals, and he'd be greedy, taking shots from some weird angles, and to his credit, scoring some incredible goals. First choice. There's good reasons to have Harry Kane, even though he's going to be 28 this summer, I think, in June or July. He's still got 4 or 5 good years ahead of him. He's English, so he doesn't affect our non-homegrown maximum players we can have is 17. I think we've got 16 at the moment, so that helps us there if we want to get other non-homegrown players. So that helps us a lot. He knows the country, he knows the language, he knows the league. He's proven in this league. So there's a lot of good things about him. I've said before, if I was going to get Kane, I'd want a younger striker as well. But having said that, Liam Delap is going to be part of the first team squad next season full time. This season he was in and out. He did some training with the men, with the first team, and some with the EDS, and then played obviously most of the season with the EDS. So he'll be up with the first team, and possibly Cole Palmer as well. So it might be, if it was me, I've said many times, if I was going to get somebody, if I was getting Kane, I'd still want somebody else. I still want an attacking midfielder or another winger, like I've mentioned many times. Patson Daka, he's one for me. Or get Jack Grealish and Patson Daka. If I get Jack Grealish, I want someone like Patson Daka. If I get Kane, I'd still want someone like Patson Daka or another attacking midfielder. And if I get Haaland, I don't think if we get Haaland, you don't get. So like Kane, I wouldn't say no to him, but I'd get someone like Patson Daka, who is much younger, at about 22, 23, and I think he'll work just as hard, and I think he'll do really, really well at City. But I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket.
Yeah, my first choice would be Haaland personally. I think he can do everything. He can edit, he's got pace, he can shoot, he's got strength. He's perfect striker, really.
Yeah.
And we got Kyle here with us, mate. How are you, mate?
Hello.
Hello, you alright?
Yeah, thanks you.
Not bad. Who would your first choice striker be to sign this season to replace Aguero?
I'd personally say Haaland because, like you were saying, then we always seem to cross the balls in, and it seems like we're missing a Haaland kind of player to, header it in if needs be, and also tap it in if needs be.
He's always in the perfect position as well, Haaland. I've noticed that with him. Wherever the ball goes, he's there basically most of the time. Question for you, Ray. Do you think we're the favourites to win the Champions League and beat Chelsea?
Yeah, we've got to be. I think when you look at it, you see what we've done this season. Obviously, we won the league. We've done really well. I wouldn't worry about the 2 games we've lost to them because obviously, one team had about 3 of our regular first teamers. I think the other had maybe only 2 or 3. So I don't worry too much. Yes, it can be a little bit of a negative for us and a little bit of a confidence booster for them. But I think that the confidence that got boosted by beating City twice has probably gone down a bit by losing to Arsenal and losing to Leicester in the FA Cup. So we're definitely favourites. Big favourites, it's hard to say. But I just think man for man, overall, we're a better team. We're better individual players overall, and we're a better team as a unit. Obviously, in all these big games, first goal is vital. Whoever scores the first goal generally goes on to win it. So, it's crucial that, we control that. I think it's crucial we control the midfield and don't let them break at pace. Don't let people like Havertz and Werner and Mason Mount break at us with pace. And that's why I'd like Fernandinho there. But we'll wait and see.
Yeah. Kyle, do you think we'll win the Champions League and we're the favourites to beat Chelsea?
I think it's going to be a brilliant game, to be honest. I see it being. I don't think it'll be one of those where it's going to be a very boring game. I think there won't be many goals, but there will be a few because Tuchel likes to control the game, and I feel like Pep was playing away against Chelsea in both legs to try and trick him into what they're going to play in the Champions League final to try and reveal more about.
The thing is, they watch videos, they watch the telly, they know who City's best team is. You can't trick. If Tuchel is tricked by Pep not playing his best team in these other games, then he'd be a crap manager. You can't trick a manager by not playing your best team. Everybody knows who City's best team is. I'm sure if you ask the 3 of us, we give our best team, we'd probably agree on 10 or 11 of the starting, with the players, and everybody knows who our best team is.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah. Well, we're coming near to the end of the show, and we've got a quick segment here of how well do you know your club. It's 10 quiz questions about your club. See how many you get right out of 10.
Go on.
All right, you can go first, Ray.
Okay.
First question is, in which year did Manchester City move from their old ground of Main Road to the City of Manchester Stadium?
Oh, that's a terribly hard question. It was after the Commonwealth Games in... What year are we now? Last year was 2020, so we go back. 2002 would have been the Commonwealth Games in 2002. So after that, after the Commonwealth Games, so 2002, 2003.
The correct answer is 2003. First one, right?
Wow.
In what year were the club formed? Not Manchester City, St. Ardwick FC.
Who's that to?
To you again, Ray.
Oh, okay. So we had Ardwick FC. What about St. Mark's?
Yeah,
St. Mark's. Sorry.
Got my St. Mark's shirt downstairs. It'll have the year on there. 1882. $1882.
Incorrect. 1880.
Oof.
It's a hard question, that. Hard question.
Yeah.
Because everybody talks about 1894.
Yeah. After St. Mark's and before Man City, what were the club known as?
I think we know that. Hardwick.
Yeah, correct. Who was the owner before Sheikh Mansour?
Thaksin Shinawatra.
Correct. Who did Man City play in the 2011 FA Cup final?
Stoke City.
Correct. What score did City beat Huddersfield in 1987?
10-1.
Correct.
Do you want to know who scored the hat-tricks? No,
Go
that's all right.
Next one. What minute did Aguero score against QPR? Minute and second.
93-20.
Correct. Did Kevin De Bruyne join Man City for?
Wolfsburg.
Correct. Last question. What was the Man City documentary on Amazon called?
That was the All or Nothing.
Correct. Got 9 out of 10. That was very good. Very good. Right, Kyle, it's your turn now.
I'm getting nowhere near 9 out of 10 for questions that I had. Wow.
I'm at 20.
Where the questions gone? 1 minute. What country is Edison from?
Brazil.
Correct. Before Mahrez won the league with City, what team did he win the league with?
Leicester.
Correct. How many goals did Raheem Sterling score in all competitions in the 18-19 season?
He's got no chance.
I've got absolutely no chance now. Goals and assists, did you say?
Not just goals in all competitions.
18-19.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for... That is 17? It's an hard question.
Chance.
I've got no chance.
He got 17 in the league.
Did it?
25 in all competitions.
Jeez. Underrated season, that. From Sterling. Wow.
Where? Before the Etihad, where did Man City play their own games?
Main Road, isn't it?
Yeah. Correct.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a trick question, that. I was quite concerned. Oh.
Who's Man City's top goal scorer this season?
Gundogan.
Correct. How many points did Man City win the league within the 18-19 season?
18-19.
Yeah.
100, weren't it?
98. Incorrect. Who was the top scorer in the 18-19 season?
Not the same year as the Sterling question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Wait, all competitions?
No, just Premier League.
Oh. Yeah, I'm still going to go for Sterling.
Yeah, Sterling's correct. How many goals has Aguero scored for Man City in all competitions?
All time?
Yeah, all time.
Oh, no, wow. Oh, God. I've got absolutely no chance. About 248 I'm going to go for.
258, nearly.
Oh.
Last two now. How many City players in the last 10 years have played for both City and United?
In the last 10 years?
Yeah.
That's a good question, that. I think 10 years. I honestly can't think of anyone other than Tevez in the last 10 years. Yeah, I'm just going to go for Tevez. Is it? 1?
2. Tevez
Is
and
it?
Owen Hargreaves.
Was he 2011?
Yeah, he left. He joined City in 2011.
Oh, wow.
Last question. Where's it gone? Bloody hell. Who was the PFA Player of the Year in the 18-19 season? Played for City.
PFA Player of the Year?
Yeah.
2019?
2018-19 season.
It was Van Dijk, weren't it? And Sterling got the young one, weren't it?
I meant, yeah,
Was it?
because it was
Yeah.
Sterling, but
Yeah.
I might have meant Young Player of the Year.
Oh.
You did all right then, to be fair. I think you got 7, 6 or 7. I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, we're going to wrap it up there. Cheers for coming on, lads. Ray, where can they find you, mate? You're on mute. Ray, you're on mute.
Sorry, mate. I put it on mute. City Fan TV on YouTube and Ray City Fan TV on Twitter.
And Kyle, where can they find you?
Ruben Diaz FC on Twitter.
Yeah. You can find me at here on YouTube, Dugout Daily. You can find me at MCFC Hibs on Twitter. And you'll see me back here at 10:30 on a review of the 2 playoff semi-final games between Bournemouth and Brentford and Barnsley v Swansea. So, yeah, I'll see you all in a bit. Take care.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Cheers.